Good morning, TPSD students and parents. Welcome to our first edition of Distance Learning 101. This past week was the first week that we had with our online learning that we're calling distance learning. And we want to create the environment at home that our kids are normally seeing at school. One of the things that we have implemented in the last 2 years is a social contract. And with me today is our school superintendent, Dr. Rob Picou. And Dr. Picou, you are such an advocate of these social contracts. What is a social contract?
Well, thank you, Greg. First, I want to thank all of our parents for participating in this experience. We know it's challenging to get students and keep them on task for a great segment of time during the day. Our teachers work very hard to do that every day in their classrooms. And some of the tools they use, we thought maybe it might help our parents at home. And one of them is the social contract. Social contract is nothing more than a predetermined agreement of behavior. We learned about it in a training that we had at the beginning of last year with the Flippin' group. All of our administrators went through the training, and many of our administrators, especially at the 3-5 level, took the social contract back to their schools and implemented it in their classrooms. And we saw a significant decrease in disciplinary infractions, and we saw an increase in student engagement in the learning process. Once you build a social contract, if you do it well and the students have ownership, that's their social contract. They really do start to take control of the social contract and use it in a way that is very positive and very productive in the experience, in the learning experience.
And it's not something that you wanted to just see in the classroom. All of our departments from an administrative side have implemented a social contract as well.
Exactly. We use it in all of our meetings. At the beginning of every meeting, we remind each other of our social contract, of how we agree to treat each other throughout the course of this meeting.
Well, let's dive in.
Okay.
And let's look at it.
Well, let's first talk about what do you have to do in order to prepare to develop a social contract.
And that's going to be my first question.
Well, the first thing you do is you get a piece of paper. Any piece of typing paper would probably work, and you give each child, if you have more than one child, a different color marker, and you let them be creative with the social contract. And you go through a series of 4 questions that you ask, and they have to respond. But they respond in one word each time they have a response. And they can have more than one word, but it's like if, let's go through the first question just as an example. Sound good?
That sounds great. You've already kind of got ahead for us and started it out.
The first question is, how do you want to be treated by me? As a learner, how do you want to be treated by me, the teacher? Many different responses students might come up with. A 3rd grade child might say, I'd like to be treated respectfully. That's one word. They write it on the social contract. Another child might, I want to have fun. Fun. Write that one word on the social contract. What are some other things that you could think of a 3rd grader might say, Greg?
Peacefully.
Peacefully, yeah, anything. They can come up with any words. That's their social contract, so they're building it.
And no two are going to be the same.
No, and each child could come up with different words, and you honor every word. Every word goes on the social contract. You create a list of those words.
I really like the respect word, because I do think if you see every contract in our district, I think respect is one of those words.
Respect is a common theme. Yeah, that's a common theme. So the first question is, how do you want to be treated by me, the teacher? The second question is, how do you want to treat each other? If you have multiple children, how should you treat each other? What do you think would be a good response, Greg?
Not interrupting.
Not interrupting, so that's back to respectful, right? So that could fit under respectful.
That's true.
Also, how about quietly?
Quietly, I like that.
Yeah, quietly, in a low tone of voice. They might want the learning environment to be quiet. How about fun?
Fun.
Yeah, fun's a good one. What's another good one?
And fun is, we want them to have fun with this as well.
I think patience was a big one that went around on our social contracts. Multiple words.
Right.
So that's the second question. How do you want to treat each other? The third question is, how do you think I want to be treated by you as the teacher? That's a big one, to let them reflect on how you want to be treated as the teacher in the learning experience. Okay, so the question number 3 is, how do you think I want to be treated by you?
Fairly.
Fairly, yeah, I want to be treated fairly. Do I want to be treated, again, respectfully?
Right.
I'd like to be treated as the teacher with patience, because I have other children I'm trying to take care of, so I want you to be patient so that when I'm taking care of this child, you're waiting your turn, right? That's a big problem.
Open-minded.
Open-minded, yeah. Accepting, yeah. So all those words get put on this one piece of paper. The fourth question is, how will we treat each other? And this is an important one because there will be inevitably conflicts during any learning experience. They occur. When you put a bunch of children together on one table, I'm sure you're starting to find out as parents at home, conflicts happen. They have different opinions, and they have to work those opinions out. And the purpose of the social contract is to create self-moderating behavior. How will we treat each other when there is a conflict? Will we listen to each other? Will we give each other the opportunity to share our thoughts and our feelings? Will we have empathy for each other and how you're feeling and value your feelings as well as my feelings? Have them write any words that they think of when they answer those questions on this one piece of paper. So then you take that piece of paper, once you have all the words on one piece of paper, you get another piece of paper. And you try to filter the words into a list of maybe 10 really good words that represent how the children feel about these 4 questions. And you put them on have them write them on the second piece of paper, because it's their contract. You want them to be creative. They can draw a picture or 2 that represent the words. I've seen all types of variations in classrooms all around the district. It's their contract. So once it's completed and they feel really good with the product, everybody signs the contract, including the teacher, because it's an agreement, and we want to honor that agreement with our signature like we do on any contract. So you take that contract, once it's completed, I put it in a place of prominence in the learning environment. If you're in the kitchen, then obviously probably the refrigerator. And every day when you start the learning experience, you go over your contract first. You remind the children of the contract that they created and agreed to use during the learning experience.
And that sets the tone for ever how long they're going to be doing their assignments at that point.
That's right. That sets the tone for the learning time that they have established during the school day.
Now, we all hope we're back in school on April 20th.
Yeah.
If we're not, if this is extended, how is the contract affected then? How do you keep it going? How do you make sure that how we started it, that everybody's still excited about wanting to follow it?
Well, you go over it every day. You review the contract every day. Every time you start the learning experience, you go over it. Let's remember our contract, folks. Like if we were in a learning experience right now with Greg and Greg was a student and I was the teacher, I would say, okay, Greg, remember our contract that we agreed to 3 weeks ago.
Right.
Let's go over question number 1 together. Just today, we'll go over question number 1 and go over the words that we agreed to in question number 1. So you just make it part of your dialogue every day. And it becomes internal. You create some hand signals for when there's a conflict, like if someone's not living up to the contract. So let's say we agreed to be quiet during the direct instruction learning time in the morning. But Greg, as a student, is not honoring the contract. So we have a hand signal. Rather than me as another student saying, be quiet, I would use the hand signal that's established. And that's the signal to Greg that you're not honoring our contract. So you want to create hand signals that would let the students know that they're not honoring the contract, and then just go over it every day. You'll be surprised how fast they adapt. Many of the students in the Tupelo Public School District, they know what a social contract is, especially at the 3-5 level. It might be something that has to be explained to the K2 level, but the 3-5 level, they understand it.
And once I see that hand signal, it's my turn to comply.
Yeah, it's your turn because you're not on the contract. You're not living to the contract, yeah.
I've actually seen this at the high school in some classrooms.
Have you? Great, yeah. No, it's a great tool. We're trying to get it in every classroom because it is a method of teaching students self-managing behavior. And that's such a critical skill for our students to learn, how to manage their behavior in a large learning environment. So we thought that it might be adaptable to a smaller learning environment where they're now learning together with their siblings at home.
Hey, it would work even under normal school times at home, probably need some type of social contract
Yeah, well,
to keep the peace.
exactly. Yeah, it happens.
Exactly. All right, well, this is our social contract. And when we come back, we are going to talk about assignments and the value of you doing your assignments that have been laid out by your teachers. Welcome back to Distance Learning 101. In the first segment, we really dove into social contracts, the value, and the importance of it. Now we got our social contract, it's time to work.
Right.
So the school doors are closed, but school is open, and of course it's at your table wherever is comfortable. Dr. Picou, when our students are working on assignments, do you suggest that they go to the same place every day, where it's kind of a normal setting for them, or to change it up, or is that an individualized thing?
I think that's a great question, Greg. Our students are missing a lot of their routines, and that leads to the anxiety of the COVID-19 crisis. That's inevitable. So I would suggest that you create a learning environment in your home that's the same place every day. It's structured so that they continue to experience some level of structure. Right. Remember, their concept of structure has been destroyed.
Absolutely.
So right now they're looking, students and children crave structure. When they don't have structure, they tend to behave in inappropriate ways. And any good teacher that you've ever seen in the classroom has a very structured classroom environment. And those who don't have a structured classroom environment do not have as good of learning experiences in the school. Sure. And routine.
And routine.
I would recommend a schedule, and you follow the schedule. If 9 a.m. is the time we're going to start, try to start at 9 a.m. every day. If 12 o'clock is the time we're going to end, try to end at that same time. So they have an expectation.
Right.
Right.
Just like you would changing classes.
Yeah. Any good home, I've done a significant amount of studying about homeschool environments, and any good homeschool environment, it's a structured environment.
Now we're going to kind of focus on the assignments themselves. We have created on our website at tupeloschools.com a COVID-19 link. And in that link, you've got all the educational resources, not just for the students, but for parents to go to and get ideas. Hey, the packets that were sent home, the assignments on Google, on the Google Classroom, you don't have to limit it to that. So if you're looking for more to learn, we're providing that on the website. It is critical that you keep your mind going and learning, because who knows how long this is going to be. Let's say we're 4 months and these kids are out of the classroom at 3 or 4 months. That takes a toll on the learning process.
Well, yes, it does. We're really worried about the learning that our students are missing right now. I mean, this is going to be an incredible gap in their learning continuum.
Right.
And so it's important that we utilize every resource available and try to keep them engaged throughout this time when they're out of school. Ideally, you would carry this level of engagement throughout the summer, so there's not a learning gap during the summer.
Right.
But we know that everyone enjoys their summer vacations, and that's difficult to do.
Right.
But during this time period, it's critical that students engage in the learning process and continue to be engaged in the learning process, so that when they come back to school in August, they haven't had as long a learning gap.
Right. Now, one of the things that we've sent the packets home, we have the online learning, and our teachers have worked unbelievable hours of preparing for this. I mean, they've bought in and they care about the students. You've seen it in the videos that they've done. They really want the learning to continue. We've decided as a district, the grade, if you get grades, they cannot hurt you. They can only help you.
Right.
So, Dr. Picou, with that said, the value of completing the assignments. We can't make them complete the assignments, but we want them to help themselves in the long run.
Well, one of the things you said, Greg, is about our teachers and our principals. I mean, this has really been a Herculean effort to get something changed around like we have in order to give some level of resources to our students and our families during this crisis. Our principals, our teachers, admin support, can't say enough about our food service people, our security, our maintenance. This is truly what we call a one single heartbeat effort.
Exactly.
Everyone's putting a lot of time into this and trying to make it the best that it can be, but it's not going to be as good as being in the school, in the classroom. They miss their friends, they miss the social part of school, and they miss their teachers.
Right.
Students and teachers, they develop a bond that's unlike any other. And we have some of the greatest teachers on the planet here in Tupelo. And I would say throughout Northeast Mississippi, we have some really phenomenal educators. Some of the superintendents that I meet around the area say the same thing about their staff.
Right. So
it's really important to recognize that we have a lot of dedicated educational professionals in this area. We're blessed to have that.
Right.
But trying to keep students on task when there's no structure is what's important, what's difficult, what's challenging. And so really the more we can encourage, not force, not penalize, but encourage students to embrace the learning experience. And the more we can make the learning experience fun and exciting and different things that we can do. Kids like to have fun.
They do.
Yeah, they like to have fun, and they learn more when they're having fun.
On our website, you'll see where most of our students already know the terminology of Google Classrooms, iReady, and all these programs. That's a part of their day-to-day vernacular.
Yeah.
For parents, maybe not so much. So we've tried to educate you on our website with what all this is, how to access Google Classroom if you don't, or other things. It is step-by-step instructions on how to get on and to help your students. And our kids don't just go to school, take assignments, and do the work. They get assistance, particularly in our younger elementary grade levels. So it's important that the parents or grandparents or whoever's at home with these kids, that they help them with their tasks and assignments to make sure that things are getting done.
Yeah, well, all children need motivation to learn, and motivation comes with kindness.
Right.
Our teachers are very skilled at motivating children to learn. The best teachers know how to capture a child's heart and then work toward the mind. So it's important that we get children excited about learning through kind words, structured learning experiences, and very clear and explicit directions.
And it's also key to understand, too, our teachers are trained. Not only do they go to school, they go to conferences, they read, they are updating their certificates. So with that said, as parents, there's going to be a lot of things that they're not going to know the answer to, but our teachers and principals are available.
They're available as a resource. Our teachers also participate in professional learning communities where they learn from each other. So take this as an opportunity to get to know your teacher better. Every teacher is available. It's simple on Google Classroom. You just go on, you talk to your teachers. Your teachers are available, your principals are available. So it's important that you use them as a resource when you hit a roadblock.
Right.
Don't get frustrated. Get in touch with the teacher. Let the teacher know what's happening. She or he may be able to walk you through that frustration.
What is it, 8 to 3 every day?
Yes, 8 to 3.
Office hours?
Yeah, I think it's 8 to 4.
8 to 4, so you can call or email, text, whatever, and they want you to.
They're looking forward to being a part of this process. They're really worried about the students.
They are.
They really are. They're worried about what the students are missing. They know the children very, very well because they spend a lot of time with them, so they're very concerned.
And you talked about having fun earlier. In the midst of all this work, take breaks.
Take breaks, have some
breath.
fun, laugh, make it a fun experience for everyone.
And send us your pictures, and a lot of you have already been doing that. We want to promote that and show how learning is going on at home. And on the screen, you'll see my email address. So just email me what you have, and we'll put it out on Twitter, on Facebook. Because, hey, we're all in this together, and some families may say, oh, I like how their setup is. I might try that.
Exactly right. You can see other classrooms, other kitchen table classrooms.
Right.
That's what this is, a kitchen table classroom.
Perfect. All right. Well, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we want to talk a little bit about our food system. We've enhanced that this past week, and options there for our students.
Yeah.
Hungry children have a hard time learning, and at school, they are fortunate to where they are provided nutritional meals. Now, we kind of have lost control of that, making sure that they're eating healthy. But please note, we're doing everything we can to make sure every child 18 and younger are provided both a breakfast and a lunch. There's two places that you can go to Monday through Friday from 10:30 to 12:30. That's at Lawndale Elementary and Pierce Street Elementary. In addition, we have added bus stops this past week, Dr. Picou, where we've got 9 different stops
Yeah.
throughout the city. And you'll see on this graphic that's about to come up of all the places and the times that you can go to make sure you get your food.
Yeah, and it's a drive-up service.
It's a drive-up service.
And
yes.
the cafeteria workers and the whole food service staff and the bus staff have been incredible in terms of continuing this food service, because we do know we have quite a few community members who are experiencing food insecurity.
Right.
And it's a partnership with the Hunger Coalition.
Yes.
And we're really excited about that partnership.
Very grateful for that. Not to mention the volunteers from Lynn Rogers' office and
Yeah.
our cafeteria staff. They put in a lot of time creating menus so that they do change
Yeah.
daily. And we're just so grateful for her and her staff, United Way, the Hunger Coalition, and everybody who is helping to make sure that you don't go hungry. We're so thankful for WTVA for allowing us to do this. It's scary times.
Yeah, it's a time of anxiety, high anxiety for our adults and our children. It's also a time of extreme loneliness.
Right.
People are missing their social connections, and that in and of itself increases the anxiety.
Right.
So it's important to remember to have fun. Reach out. We also have art teachers. Let's not forget our art
Right.
teachers. Our music teachers are on call. We have different people that are on call, PE teachers
Right.
that are on call that can help you at home as you try to create a very efficient and effective learning environment for your children as you help us keep them educated throughout this school closure.
Well, Dr. Picou, thank you so much for your leadership, and you've been so instrumental in helping us put this together. What really should take a year to create, we've done in less
Yeah, we
than
turned it
2
around
weeks.
pretty fast, and it's going to evolve. It's going to evolve as we continue. It's going to continue to get better.
Exactly. And on Friday, we will be joined by Misty McCrae, and she's going to really dive in to the computer, show you how to do some things with assignments that hopefully will help you in case you have questions. For Dr. Picou, I'm Greg Ellis. Thank you and have a great day.
One last little fun.
Music. Music never hurts the soul.
Thank you.